Hello, this is Billy Mansell here with IDP Plus Bets, taking you through all of your favorite college football bets for this upcoming season. And we are finally here at the regular season. It is week 0. Now, it's technically week 1. They kind of made it weird this year because there's not really a week 0. So it's like a conjoined week 1. However, like Florida State plays week 1 and week 1 because they play next week as well. So I don't really know how they are trying to spin this, but to me, it's still week 0. It'll still be week 0 in my heart. So let's get right into it this week. We've got 4 games on the slate, and I'm going to give you my 4 favorite bets from this week. I'm going to give you 2 that are kind of a low level, minus 100, minus 112 bets. I'll give you one that's in the plus money that's a little bit better, a little bit juicier, and then I'll give you one that's kind of a long shot that'll kind of get you the juices flowing a little bit bigger odds. I don't recommend putting a full unit on it, but it is something that you can at least put in your portfolio. So with that being said, let's get right to it. So biggest game on the slate this weekend, the one that everyone's going to be watching, it's over in Ireland, which is always fun. It's going to be played at 11 a.m. Central Time. 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And it's a Florida State versus Georgia Tech. Now, Florida State comes into the season ranked number 10 overall, which is probably worthy. They were undefeated last season. They kind of got their stuff taken away from them getting into the college football playoff. They didn't get there. Jordan Travis has gotten hurt. That kind of took them out. So they're going to be on a little bit of a revenge mission this year. However, my first bet that I'm putting in this weekend is Georgia Tech plus 13.5. Now, I see that you might see that it says alternate spread or spread alternate on there. The original line for this game was plus 13.5 when the line first came out. It's been bet down to where it is currently plus 11. I don't actually hate the plus 11. Anything that's above double digits for this game, I think you are more than welcome to fire that one off. Plus 10.5, plus 10 even. I think you can probably still get it and at least maybe be in for at the very least a push. So I'm personally at minus 140 going to put Georgia Tech plus 13.5 because I just love this line all over. Georgia Tech is going to be in this game. It's going to be a lot closer than people think. Now, you might see the 10 next to Florida State's name and be like, all right, Billy, you're getting kind of crazy here. What's going on? Florida State has had one of the most crazy turnovers from year to year of teams in college football. So let me name off some of these names. Trey Benson, their number 1 running back from last season, 14 touchdowns on the ground. He is now with the Arizona Cardinals. He got drafted. Jordan Travis, the quarterback that was probably going to make a Heisman push last season. Now he is with the Jets. He's the backup there. He was pretty much their entire offense for a lot of the season. A lot of the reason that they were winning most of these games. He is now in the NFL. Their top 2 wide receivers, Keon Coleman was the number 1 wide receiver. He is now with the Buffalo Bills. And Johnny Wilson, the number 2 wide receiver, he is now with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a lot of major production. And their tight end, Jaheim Bell, also got drafted in the 7th round by the New England Patriots. He was also heavily utilized, probably their number 3 receiver on their team, even though he was a tight end. That's all of their receiving production gone, their main running back gone, their quarterback gone. And for your IDP fans out there, Jared Verse, taken by the Rams, he is also gone. He was the major edge rusher on that team. And then Braden Fisk, if anybody out there is a believer in the Fisk, also drafted into the NFL. So that being said, they had 10 players overall drafted. That is a lot of production gone. And for that reason alone, why would they be a double-digit favorite? I don't understand it. They have a brand new quarterback in DJ U. I'm just going to call him DJ U. He was a Clemson quarterback, if everybody remembers. He transferred to Oregon State last season, and now he's transferred to Florida State. He is fresh. We don't know what he's going to be in this first game. We're going to have to figure that out. But I'm going to tell you what, it's probably going to take him a minute to get used to these new players, these new athletes, guys that he hadn't played with for a full season. They're going to have all new running back. Well, not all new running back. Their new running back that is the number 1 on their team, Lawrence Tofili, I think is his name. He's a good player. He has not taken the starting role as Trey Benson did, so this will be a new challenge for him. And just basically with all that being said, I think Georgia Tech with Haynes King, Jamal Haynes are going to be in this game, and they're going to keep it very close. I think Georgia Tech is a very underrated team going into the season, and I actually wouldn't be super shocked if they won this game. I think upset is definitely within the realm of possibility, but I do think, just to put this back up on the screen, Georgia Tech plus 13.5. Add that one, fire that one off. I know you're buying up some points, and it's going to take the odds down just a little bit from minus 110 to minus 40, minus 140, but I don't think you are going to regret that pick. I do think this is going to be a closer game than a double-digit game. I do think Florida State's going to win personally, but I think it's going to be by a touchdown. I do think it might be by 9. Like, it's going to be a less score than double digits. So my first bet, Georgia Tech plus 13.5. Fire that one off, no doubt about it. Second bet that I feel pretty comfortable with, Jamal Haynes, running back for Georgia Tech. This is a player prop. If you have player props in your state, this one's one you should get. 70-plus yards. Now, last season, he was only under 70 yards 2 games. Feels pretty good that you're going to get that one in this one. The D-line for Florida State is going to be a revamped line. They're going to take a minute to get used to each other. It's going to take a minute. It's minus 180. I just go ahead and fire that off. This is kind of an alt line as well. The real line is, I think, 79, which I do feel comfortable with that too. 80 yards he hit that in 11 of the 14 games. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to fire that one off too. Minus 180, 70-plus yards for Jamal Haynes, running back, Georgia Tech. Fire that one off as well. Look, first game of the season. These guys have never played together. They're going overseas to Ireland to play the football game. I just don't think you're going to get a better spot here to fire off an underdog and actually feel pretty confident with it than this one right here. I'm not bold enough to take them outright. You can feel good if you feel good about the information I've told you so far. Go ahead and fire that one off. I'm not gonna push back against it. It's a good idea, good bet. I just I kind of need to see it to believe it. I do think Florida State still talent-wise is better than Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech has been together longer, a little bit more cohesive. Definitely think they have a chance here. So I do want to put this one up. This is plus odds. You can just put these two bets together, 70-plus yards for Jamal Haynes and Georgia Tech plus 13.5. If you same game parlay that together, it's plus 112. I think that's a solid bet. I do think both of these things are going to easily happen in this game. And if you put them both together, you get plus odds. It's, a little bit of juice, not a lot of juice, but it's a little bit of juice. You might check what other books are throwing this around. You might get a better number than this, but I do think just for the sake of getting the bet out there, I don't love parlays always, but when it's a parlay that I truly heavily believe in, like this one, I'm going to give it out because plus 112 is not that insane. Like it's not a plus 400 bet. Like it's plus 112. You're getting good money. You're getting good odds. I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be a fun one in Ireland. Game day is going to be crazy. I heard they have a WWE wrestler is going to be Sheamus, I think is his name, is going to be the guest picker on game day. So that'll be fun. And I don't know. These Ireland games have been fun. It's kind of been tough to tell what's going to happen because last year Notre Dame just stomped out. But the first year, Nebraska and I forget who it was, Northwestern, I think, it was a pretty close game. So it's kind of been tough to tell. I think this one's going to be a little bit closer than what people are assuming right now. I just think the books don't know what to do with this, honestly, because a book assuming that a brand new team like this is going to win by 2 touchdowns it's a little bold in my opinion. And it's a conference game, so that's also another thing that should be factored in my opinion. But nevertheless, all right. So that's all I got for the first game. That's going to be the marquee game of the day. I believe in all of those bets. I believe anything that you have attached with Georgia Tech is a winner. Georgia Tech to actually win the game might be a little iffy, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get on to my long shot bet of the weekend. Again, there's 4 games. Bear with me. 2 of the games don't even have any props for the players. So it's made it kind of difficult to sift through and find something. But I do like this one bet from the SMU Nevada game that I like to give out, and that is Jaylan Knighton to be the first touchdown scorer. Now, you can bet him straight out to be just a touchdown scorer in the game. It's minus 225 or 215 right now. Sure, you're giving away money at that point. I think you might as well just not bet it, to be fair, because the odds are kind of not great unless you bet a lot of money to gain just a little bit back. But I do like him to be the first touchdown scorer. Now, I think going into this season, last season, SMU used a wide array of running backs. They have Kamar Wheaton on there. LJ Johnson and Jaylan Knighton were kind of all used. And the quarterback, frankly, Preston Stone, was also getting some rushing touchdowns. So it was more of like a shotgun blast. You never knew who was going to get it. But the first two games last season, Jaylan Knighton had double-digit carries in both games and just didn't get in the end zone against Oklahoma. And don't remember who they played in the first game, but it wasn't that I think it was Louisiana Tech, now that I'm saying it out loud. And he just happened to not get in the end zone. This year, I think there's a very good chance that he comes out and gets the first touchdown right away. It's a first touchdown bet. If you've ever bet one of these, you know it is normally just a dice roll because literally you're betting on who is going to score the first touchdown in a game that's probably going to have a ton of points. I get it, but we're giving out long shots here. Please do not bet your bankroll on this. I am not saying this is going to be a get rich quick kind of bet because it is a first touchdown scorer. So please sprinkle. We sprinkle on these kind of bets. I don't want you to blow your whole bankroll on a first touchdown score. But if I do think there's one that's going to happen in this game, I do think it's going to be Jaylan Knighton. And I do think that you can sprinkle a little bit of your bankroll on there. And I think that will get you juiced up throughout the day. The spreads on these games are insane. Plus 24 is one of them. Plus 28 is another. I think Hawaii's favored by like 38. I'm not going to give you any of those. It's crazy. Anything can happen. Sometimes they get up so big that they don't play their players or don't try as hard because they're just trying to get the clock to run out. I hate giving out those games with those huge and crazy spreads because, like I said, just about anything can happen in those games. So let's just quickly run through what we did for this podcast just so you can get some bets in. Again, 4-game slate. I promise next week when we have a full slate of games, there will be more well thought out bets than this. But look, we're in week 0. We need to get our beaks wet a little bit, and I think these are a good 4 bets to get you started. So first, we have the alternate spread for this Georgia Tech game to be plus 13.5. I think Georgia Tech will cover this without a doubt in my mind. I think personally, anything over plus 10.5, you are good to go. If you want to bet it down to plus 12.5, if you want to do plus 10, plus money probably, good to go. I think you're fine. They're not beating them by double digits. I feel very confident in that. Second one is Jamal Haynes to have 70-plus yards. Again, Jamal Haynes was pretty automatic with this. Georgia Tech is a heavy rushing team. They do not trust Haynes King throwing the ball. He does come out with some miraculous plays, but I do think Jamal Haynes running the ball. It's crazy that, by the way, they have a running back named Jamal Haynes, and the quarterback's name is Haynes King. That has got to be confusing in the Georgia Tech practices. However, 70-plus yards, Jamal Haynes, I feel confident in that. The actual number is 80. If you feel so obliged, he hit that in many games last season. Florida State and Georgia Tech did not play last season, so there's not any data to go off of in that last season. But the Florida State team is completely different, so it wouldn't really matter anyway. Again, for plus money, I do like same-game parlaying those together just to get you a little juice. That's plus 112. Can't hate that. And then for the long shot bet of the day, it's Jaylan Knighton, SMU running back, to score the first touchdown in that game versus Nevada. I'm never going to give you out a bet that I haven't bet myself. I have money on all of that, so I don't want you to think you are alone. So I will be watching this weekend. I cannot wait. College football is finally back. I will be, again, having a more in-depth episode next week with more not well-thought-out bets. I said that earlier. I did do the research for these, but just a better array of things that I feel like this is a lock is going to happen. Not a lot of NFL players in these games. I'm usually looking for who's going to get us the NFL level play. Not a lot going on in these games. So that is the kind of tough play in the equation. But with all that being said, I am Billy Mansell at Ombre Vendor on Twitter. Please hit me up. Come heckle me if I miss a bet, even if you didn't bet it. Sure, fine, go ahead. I don't care. I would love the interaction, and I love people holding me accountable as well. That's always fun. So please come join me on Twitter. Come join the conversation. Leave anything in the comments below. I will answer it. If you want to heckle me in the comments below in this YouTube video, go ahead and that too. Podcast audience, I love you all.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.